Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to The Graham Show. I'm your host, Graham, and today we have an incredibly important and urgent topic to discuss. It's a matter that has shocked and outraged our nation. Tonight, we'll be delving into the case of Laken Riley, a young woman who tragically lost her life, and the shocking revelation that her alleged murderer was illegally paroled into the United States. Thank you. Now, before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the pain and suffering Laken Riley's family and friends must be going through. Our thoughts and prayers are with them during this unimaginably difficult time. Now, let's dive right into the details of this case that has sent shockwaves throughout our country. Laken Riley, a vibrant and promising young woman, was brutally murdered on date. Her life was cut short, and her loved ones were devastated by this senseless act of violence. The investigation into Laken's murder led law enforcement to a suspect, Thomas Johnson, who was apprehended shortly after the incident. However, what has come to light since then is truly shocking. Thomas Johnson, a convicted criminal, had been previously deported from the United States and illegally re-entered the country. Not only that, but he was also released on parole despite his criminal history. This revelation has raised numerous questions about our immigration and parole systems. How was Thomas Johnson able to illegally re-enter the country? Why was he released on parole despite his criminal background? And, most importantly, could this tragedy have been prevented? These are the questions we aim to explore tonight. To help shed some light on this issue, we have invited a panel of experts who have extensive knowledge and experience in the fields of immigration, law enforcement, and criminal justice. Joining us tonight are immigration attorney Sarah Martinez, former police chief James Thompson, and criminal justice reform advocate Maria Sanchez. Welcome, everyone. Sarah, let's start with you. As an immigration attorney, what are your initial thoughts on this case and the issue of illegal reentry? Thank you, Graham. The case of Thomas Johnson highlights a significant problem in our immigration system. It's deeply concerning that someone with a previous deportation order was able to re-enter the country undetected. We need to examine the gaps in our border security and ensure that our immigration policies are robust enough to prevent such incidents from occurring in the future. Absolutely, Sarah. Chief Thompson, from a law enforcement perspective, what challenges do you see in dealing with cases like this? Graham, this case underscores the importance of effective communication and collaboration between law enforcement agencies at all levels. We need to improve information sharing between local, state, and federal authorities to identify and apprehend individuals who pose a threat to public safety. Additionally, we must evaluate the criteria for releasing individuals on parole, especially those with a history of violent offenses. Thank you, Chief Thompson. Maria, as a criminal justice reform advocate, what are your thoughts on this situation? Graham, this case is a tragic reminder of the need for comprehensive criminal justice reform. We must address the root causes of crime and focus on rehabilitation and reintegration rather than solely punitive measures. Additionally, we need to ensure that parole decisions are made based on thorough risk assessments and adequate support systems to prevent further harm to society. Thank you all for your insights. This case has certainly sparked a national conversation about our immigration and criminal justice systems. It's clear that there are systemic issues that need to be addressed. We cannot afford to let tragedies like Laken Riley's murder happen again. That concludes the first part of our special episode on the Laken Riley case. After the break, we'll continue our discussion, diving deeper into the immigration and parole policies that allowed this tragedy to occur. Stay tuned for more in-depth analysis and thought-provoking conversations with our panel of experts. We'll be right back. Certainly. Here's an extended version of the YouTube script, continuing from where we left off. Welcome back to The Graham Show. We're in the midst of discussing the case of Laken Riley, a young woman whose life was tragically cut short, and the shocking revelation that her alleged murderer was illegally paroled into the United States. I'm joined by our panel of experts, immigration attorney Sarah Martinez, former police chief James Thompson, and criminal justice reform advocate Maria Sanchez. Before the break, we began exploring the complexities surrounding this case. Sarah, could you elaborate on the challenges and loopholes in our immigration system that allowed Thomas Johnson to re-enter the country undetected? Absolutely, Graham. The case of Thomas Johnson highlights key issues within our immigration system. One major challenge is the lack of adequate resources and technology at our borders. Our Border Patrol agents work tirelessly, but they are often overwhelmed by the sheer volume of individuals attempting to enter the country illegally. We need to invest in advanced surveillance systems, additional personnel, and infrastructure to strengthen border security. Thank you, Sarah. Chief Thompson, what are your thoughts on this matter from a law enforcement perspective? Graham, it's essential to recognize the importance of collaboration between law enforcement agencies at all levels. In this case, it appears that there was a breakdown in communication and information sharing. Local law enforcement may not have been aware of Thomas Johnson's prior deportation and criminal history when he was released on parole. We need to establish effective channels of communication and improve coordination between agencies to prevent such oversights in the future. That's a crucial point, Chief Thompson. Maria, as a criminal justice reform advocate, what systemic changes do you believe are necessary to address cases like this? Graham, this tragic incident underscores the need for comprehensive criminal justice reform. We must shift our focus from punitive measures to rehabilitation and reintegration. It's crucial to invest in programs that address the underlying causes of criminal behavior, such as mental health issues, substance abuse, and lack of educational and employment opportunities. By providing individuals with the necessary support and resources, we can reduce recidivism rates and create safer communities. Thank you, Maria. These insights shed light on the systemic challenges that contribute to incidents like Laken Riley's murder. Now, let's turn our attention to the parole system. Chief Thompson, how can we improve the parole process to prevent individuals with violent histories from being released? Graham, it's imperative to conduct thorough risk assessments when considering parole for individuals with violent offenses. These assessments should evaluate their potential to reoffend and the level of risk they pose to society. Furthermore, we need to ensure that parole decisions are not solely based on a prisoner's behavior behind bars, but also take into account their readiness for reintegration, access to support systems, and a comprehensive plan for their rehabilitation. Those are crucial considerations, Chief Thompson. Sarah, from an immigration standpoint, what changes can be made to enhance the screening and detection processes for individuals attempting to re-enter the country illegally? Graham, we need to invest in modernizing our immigration processes. This includes improving the technology used for screening individuals at border checkpoints, expanding biometric systems, and enhancing information sharing with other countries to identify individuals with prior deportation orders. Additionally, we should prioritize comprehensive immigration reform that addresses the underlying factors driving illegal immigration, such as economic opportunities and family reunification. Thank you, Sarah. It's clear that there are systemic flaws in both our immigration and parole systems that need urgent attention. Maria, what steps can individuals take to advocate for change in these areas? Graham, individuals can make a difference by engaging with their elected representatives and advocating for comprehensive immigration reform and criminal justice reform. They can also support organizations that work towards ensuring fairness and justice within these systems. By raising awareness, fostering dialogue, and demanding accountability, we can push for the necessary changes to prevent future tragedies. Absolutely, Maria. Change starts with individual voices coming together to demand a better, safer society. Thank you all for your valuable insights. We'll continue our exploration of the Laken Riley case and its broader implications right after this break. That wraps up the second part of our special episode on the Laken Riley case. We've heard from our panel of experts as they shed light on the systemic issues surrounding immigration, law enforcement, and parole. Join us in the next segment as we discuss potential solutions and further examine the case's impact on our society. We'll be right back.